The GODFORGE beta is quite literally just around the corner, so it's time that we all make sure that we have our ducks in a row so that we're ready to play next week when the game launches. It is literally just a couple of days until the GODFORGE beta finally launches and we get to play the game. So today I want to go through a little bit of a checklist of things to do to make sure that you're ready to play the game when it launches. So the first thing and most obvious things that I think I don't need to tell most people who are watching my videos is to make sure that you are signed up. But in case there's anyone who is watching who has found this quite recently, who are not entirely sure what's going on, or also people who might have found my channel because of my art videos who are not directly involved with GODFORGE. GODFORGE is a fantasy RPG that's going into a beta run next week, and it starts on the 19th. You can sign up before then, but you can also sign up after. You can jump into the beta at any point. I've been given a sign up link that I'm going to put in my description that you can use to sign up if you haven't already. So if you're wondering what the hell I'm talking about in my videos and you're interested in getting involved, do click on my link in the description and sign up and join us for all the fun that is coming. One thing that Simon said as well in his latest video is that they do want to test the game at scale and test how much load the servers can take, essentially. I'm not a techiest person, so I'm not sure if that's the correct terminology. And I think as well, it's important for a game like this to get feedback, not just from, the diehards who are super invested in this game, because we know so much about the game already. So there's things that might seem very obvious to us when we go into the game that might be pain points or difficult to understand for someone who has never heard anything about the game, which includes people who are really into, gacha RPG games but maybe don't know anything about GODFORGE, but it also includes people who have never played a game like this, or even people who don't really play games normally at all. So I think it's worth, sending these links to, your clans or groups from other games, your husband, your wife, your mom, your friends, anyone who, might have a few moments to spare, even if they just play for a day or two, and obviously encourage them to leave feedback as well, because it's really important for the game to get feedback from outside of just their core diehard group of people who are obsessed with this game. So that's number one on my list. Make sure you're signed up, and also do encourage people who might be interested to sign up as well. Second thing is something that most people probably have done, but I haven't done personally, which is pick your starter. I've had a surprisingly hard time making my mind up about who my starter should be. Adam did a really good video about this that I feel really kind of made it finally click in my head, what the differences are. So I will link to his video below if you want to watch a good breakdown of what the starter heroes do. But despite how much I've been weighing the options back and forward, I just can't seem to make up my mind. So for anyone who's in the same boat as me who want a little bit of inspiration from a different perspective than purely who's the best hero in terms of combat and power, I've made a little personality test, which is called Which GODFORGE Starter is Your Soulmate? But yeah, this is kind of like a 10-question survey with a mix of text and image questions that will select a starter for you that is most like you on a spiritual level. I won't show you the rest of the questions so that you can do this on your own if you want to. I made it without knowing who I was going to get, because I tried to make the questions quite balanced. And I was previously picking between Guan Yu and Lady Choc, and on the quiz I got Ramses, so that has not helped my decision at all. My third suggestion is by no means something that you have to do, but something that I think will really, really help enhance your experience of playing the beta, and that is to join a pantheon. I'm someone who originally kind of didn't think that I needed to join a pantheon until the pantheons were in the game. It's not technically necessary to join a pantheon now because pantheons will not be in the beta, but having a slightly smaller community in the main GODFORGE Discord to talk to people, to share where you are in the game, to ask for advice, or just to chat in general, honestly makes the experience of playing any game like this so much nicer. I'm sure most of you here are aware of this, but I think there might also be people watching who don't use Discord at all, or who just go in the main GODFORGE Discord. And the main GODFORGE Discord is great, but it's also very fast moving. And personally, I dive in and out and I read stuff and I do find it really interesting, but I find it really hard in a chat that moves that fast to like actually make connections and get to know people. Personally, I'm in the book club Pantheon by Ragefood, which is such a nice place to hang out. But if you're someone who kind of thought that like, oh, it's not really important to join a Pantheon yet, it honestly has made my experience in this community so much nicer to have a small community of people to speak to that is a little bit slower, where you can really get to know people, really get to know people's different personalities, and it's going to be so much more fun as well to be in that space when the beta drops and we're all going into it together. So if you haven't joined a Pantheon, do go into the GODFORGE Discord, check out the list, read all of them, and kind of see whichever one strikes your fancy. If there's anything that resonates with you, and join. It's honestly worth it. And even though the Pantheons are not actually going to be in the game, just having that space to talk to people and share your experience of playing the game is honestly going to make it so much more fun. And then lastly, the last thing I'm going to say is to make sure that you have your minigame account ready. Simon shared in the last video that you can now, if you log into your account on GODFORGE, you can go into account and then click rewards, and you can see all of the rewards that you've collected. If you made several accounts during the minigame, make sure that you remember what the login's in and which one you're going to use. One thing to keep in mind here as well is that because we're getting rewards in the beta that are rolling into early access, it kind of makes sense to stick with the same account that you're going to use later. I personally had initially thought that, oh, if we have a beta and then early access, because I have 2 accounts, maybe I will play one account for the beta and then one account for early access, just so I can have 2 different experiences. But I don't really want to lose out on all those rewards, because it seems like almost everything we do in the game will earn us tokens of valor, which will stack up that we can use to buy cool things in early access. So I don't really want to split my time between 2 accounts. I think I'm just going to have to commit and just play one account, even though it would be fun to try both out. One last thing I want to say as well, and this is not essential, this is not something that everyone needs to do, but because we all want this game to be as good as possible and we want the game to succeed, and a big part of the beta is giving feedback, and obviously like if you're playing a lot every day, it's quite hard to keep track of things and it might be hard to remember. Even if you're not a content creator who's, recording things to put them on YouTube, it might be worth like keeping some kind of track of your progress in the game. Like it could be just like, keeping a document and writing things down as you go so you don't forget about them later. Or just take like loads of screenshots, like take screenshots all the way through of anything you think is cool, anything that you like, anything that you don't like, because having that record of the playtime will then help you if you want to sit down and write down like proper feedback. I've always been someone who like obsessively screenshot everything when I'm playing games. Like my whole camera roll is the screenshots, and it is fun to have. It's fun to be able to like go back and look through like the progress that you've made. And it might also be quite cool to have a lot of records of your beta play, especially when we go into early access, and we're going to be using the same accounts. We're going to be using the same hero as our kind of legendary starter on both accounts. So it'll be really fun when we go into early access to be able to compare like, do this hero look different now? Have they changed a lot? Or be able to compare like your beta build and how you build them later. So obviously I'm going to be filming while I am playing the game, but I think even when I'm not filming, I'm going to do lots of recordings on my phone of bits, and I'm going to take lots of screenshots and just make sure I have a really good record of my entire time playing the beta so I can reference it later and also compare later when we go into early access and just see how much the game has changed. So to end this video, I want to go back to this image that I've had behind me in this video. So Fateless shared a bunch of videos with us to give an idea of what the game looks like currently in the state that it is going into beta, and I watched through all the footage, it all looks really good, but I am especially amazed by this little bit of animation here of Tianlong. I've said in many of my videos that my heart always lies with the creatures in these games. As much as I love a lot of the human characters, I just love a creature, I just love animals. That's always where I gravitate, and seeing this animation of Tianlong, bear in mind that this is like not a cutscene, this is like actual battle animation, this is from the campaign, and like the level of this animation and how much movement it is, like the little celebratory like victory lap, and this, he's like, I don't know, I just think that's absolutely incredible and looks so good. I'm just so excited to see all the other like dragons and creatures. Like I want to see what animations like this they have for Quetzalcoatl, I want to see what they have for Ryujin. I'm just really excited to play, pull heroes, see what my roster is going to be, see who we have to play with. One thing I will say, just as a little heads up of what like I'm planning to do on my channel during the beta, I am really unfortunately busier than I was hoping I was going to be. I have friends staying with me for the first week of beta, and I'm going to Sweden to visit my family the second week of beta, so I'm probably not going to put out quite as much content as a lot of the other content creators will do. I will try and do a couple of videos a week. I will definitely record like my first gameplay and my first impressions, and I'm hoping to do a couple of videos kind of deep diving a little bit into the visual aspects of the game from like my point of view as an animator, and just kind of highlight some of the things that I think are really good and see if there's anything that I think can be improved from a visual point of view as well. If you have watched to the end, thank you so much as always. I really appreciate it, and I will see you on the other side. We'll end this video with a little long high five. See if I can hit him.